All right. So did I really blow your ears off, Mark? I am so sorry. It is absolutely bewilders me what's going on with technology. I know that my actual um, my computer was bugging out at the beginning, and so hopefully we have a great stream here. Welcome to our channel. We'll wait for all the people to unmute themselves, and we'll get going. Welcome to Metal Detecting Nation. Thanks for joining in. We are a community of people who just like talking about metal detecting, and we like having people on that also like talking about metal detecting. One of the things that we're really good at is just inviting people in and hearing their stories and sharing how they got involved in the hobby, and just a great opportunity for us to communicate with people all over the world. It's a great format. So if you're new to the Metal Detecting Nation stream, welcome. You can join in on chat. We have a bunch of different moderators, and I'm going to introduce the panel right now. So let's welcome Nancy. Nancy, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing tonight?
Good, real good. Everything's going great. Any news for the week? Anything happening? I heard you got out.
I went out detecting this weekend and I scored a bucket lister. I got my first skeleton key, everybody. I was,
Nice.
I was in the woods jumping up and down. I grabbed the phone, called my daughter, and I'm like, oh my God, you're not going to believe what I just found.
You didn't do the relic dance?
But, I was dancing like crazy. It's a good thing that nobody saw me. So I will have a video coming up so you can see what my skeleton key looks like.
Awesome. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yep, congratulations. Dave, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Dave actually posted a video for anyone that wants to go see of his other hobby. Dave, you want to tell them about that real quick?
Yeah, I'm a musician. I'm a drummer, and I haven't done any metal detecting videos to say. Jordy always does the videotaping, but I'm going to. But I did put a video up of one of the bands I play with.
Oh, that's cool.
The short clip.
You could tell you're a southpaw immediately as well.
Yeah, I'm a lefty. Total lefty.
Brandon, how are you doing?
I can't complain.
That's awesome.
Yeah, doing good.
Yeah, good. Have you been out at all this week?
I've been doing so I work pretty close to some local beaches, so I've been actually doing live digging or detecting on my lunch breaks. So pretty much other than that, I haven't really done anything. I'm going to be out tomorrow. Got an hour, so see what we can't find.
Good. Well, I'll try to watch you if I can when I get home.
Yeah. Well, it's during lunch, so I don't know when you work.
Yeah.
I've been on there a couple times, Brandon.
Yep.
Rachel, how are you? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, you're good. Go ahead. Keep going.
No, Rachel, how you doing?
Well, I'm feeling a little lonely because there's not the other half of Jersey History Hunter sitting here.
I know. I was going to say we all have responsibilities and other things that we take part in, and unfortunately Audra cannot join us tonight. She said she'd be in the chat, so hopefully she'll be able to join us in chat. How was your week?
So far pretty quiet. We didn't have much time on Sunday. We only went out for a few hours. We were going to go to that cool permission, but it was too windy. We wanted to stay in the trees. So
I hear you.
Didn't really find much, but it's all about being outside too.
I'm gonna tell you what, when I saw and heard about your permission, I was like, I was probably smiling, and my wife looked over and said, like, what are you smirking at? It's so awesome to hear what a great permission you got. I mean, you could potentially find something drastic, awesome stuff.
Yeah, we're pretty excited.
Yeah. I did not get out this week, but we have a permission that I'm going to be going out with, digging deep beeps. And so Joel and Doug, myself and Dave, we're going to try and go out on Saturday. We're going to bring our umbrella, and we're going to bring our muck boots, and we're going to try to
have fun.
Yeah. So again, welcome everybody. If you want to participate in chat, and if you stick with us until the 8 o'clock hour, we have a live, not a live on YouTube, but an after party that is, I guess everybody's talking about the after party. It's pretty fun to do. Ken, I hope you can stick with us for a little bit. But I want to introduce our guest tonight, Ken King from Adventures in Dirt. What an amazing, awesome channel. And let me be the first, at least on here, to congratulate you on your 4,000 subscribers, which I saw happen today.
Yeah, Jordy, thank you. Hey, appreciate you having me on. Everybody,
Absolutely.
good to see everyone tonight.
It's going to be a good discussion. Basically, we take the discussion anywhere it goes. And I guess I'll enter the first question. And how did you get involved in metal detecting? And when did that happen? And maybe not metal detecting, maybe treasure hunting, but
Yeah. Well, I think my dad had a lot to do with that once upon a time. He was always one of these guys that would go to the dumps and end up, trying to pull back a bunch of junk that he thought was going to be worth something someday. So he was kind of a treasure hunter in that sense. And he may have instilled some of that into me, but treasure hunting proper with metal detectors or gold prospecting or something like that really didn't enter my consciousness until I moved to Colorado in 2000. In 2000, I moved to Colorado, and I was looking for something to do with my son, basically, and started thinking about gold prospecting. I'd always been really interested. Grew up in Northern California before I moved here to Colorado, so I grew up around the gold prospecting areas there, from the old gold rush from 1849 and stuff. And so I got into gold prospecting in 2000 and just kind of dabbled in it a little bit, learned what to do, and then I started going out with my son, and it was a real cool activity to do with my son, and him and I really enjoyed it together. Similar to metal detecting, you got to do a lot of research. There's certain areas you can go, there's certain areas you can't go. And then as I was doing that, I knew that I kind of wanted to get a metal detector because to go look for nuggets and stuff like that and do some nugget shooting. So I was looking online for an old Gold Bug 2, a Fisher Gold Bug 2. I thought that was going to be my machine of choice. And I just couldn't find one. They were just too expensive. They were like $800. I didn't have $800 at the time. And I just, didn't know what to do. But my wife had heard me saying this. So about 4 years ago, she bought me one for Christmas. Yeah, a little cheap bounty hunter type metal detector. And I was off and running, boy. I started looking for videos on how to use it. Found one from the Hunter GT. Just had this amazing video on how to run the machine. He said it was a real sleeper unit, and I ate that video up and went out in my backyard. And first target was a 64 Canadian penny, which was kind of different. And the second find was a 925 ring, and I was hooked. Hook, line, and sinker at that point.
well, that was going to be my next question. What was it that hooked you? That's awesome.
Little 925 ring from Taxico, Mexico. So I don't know how long it had been there. Since then, how you just research everything around you. Since then, I researched my area, and my area it goes back some, but there was no development around my area. Before it was a housing track, it was nothing. I mean, it wasn't even a farm field. It just looked like it was native grassland, Indian land from back in the day, and really didn't even have a farm on it. So that had to come from somebody that was maybe, grading the soil to lay the sod for the housing track or whatever. I'm sure, because it wasn't too old of a ring, but boy, it was enough of a treasure to absolutely get me hooked. I'll tell you.
Now, does anyone else in your family detect or treasure hunt with you still?
No, my son's been out with me. One of my oldest son actually came out with me once or twice. One of my nephews has come out with me once or twice. Keep trying to get my wife to go out with me, but actually she came hunting with me one time. We were actually looking for a specific treasure that somebody from my treasure hunting club hid as part of this monthly fun little treasure hunt he does. So she came with me on that, but never out to do much detecting. But I'm into genealogy a lot for my family. I got into that a lot earlier than I got into even gold prospecting and learning about my family's history and our heritage. And through that discovery, I actually learned that my grandfather, never knew this about him, but he used to metal detect. My oldest surviving aunt right now, his daughter, told me that he used to be a metal detector, and it just blew me away. I never knew him like that. I never knew that part about him. So I guess I do have it in my blood a little bit.
In your
But
blood.
Yep. It goes around, comes around, and keeps circling. That's awesome. It's a great story on how you started. That's really really neat. What detector are you using now? Obviously, it's probably not a bounty hunter, but which
Still have
still
it.
is a good machine. I mean, it
Yeah.
does
Nothing
find
wrong with
every.
that.
A lot of people on our panel have started with the bounty hunter.
That was
Yeah.
my first one.
Yeah.
Mine too.
The one
Mine
I got
too.
was this Time Ranger, and I'm telling you, it's that machine does everything, man. It's got a lot of features to it for being a little cheap machine. I'm telling you, but and I still have it. It's got the 8-inch concentric coil is actually a great coil, man. It's a great coil for coin shooting. But I haven't pulled that off the shelf, off the wall for quite a while. I decided I wanted to get a better machine, and I was kind of looking around, and I was kind of on the forums with the Hunter GT. He ran this metal detecting forums, and I was kind of really, that's where I started getting involved in YouTube and all that stuff, and thinking I could make videos. And he was really pushing Technetics, Bounty Hunter, Fisher. And through that, I got onto Finds Mall. I got onto the website for Finds Mall and got involved in a Fisher users group there. And I was really sold on the Fisher F70. Thought that's the machine I want to get. And I was looking into it, and I couldn't find one on Craigslist or whatever. I was trying to find a used one maybe. And right around that time, Technetics, the sister company of Bounty Hunter, came out with the Patriot. Okay. And the Patriot is basically an F70 that they repurposed with all the parts and guts and the headpiece. And they just kind of put soft buttons on it instead of hard buttons. And they did a few changes, but nothing really with the operation and the brains of the unit. It's basically a Fisher F70. So I bought me a Patriot, and I got that in and started using that. That was my main machine, and loved it. I got to know it and got to learn it. And it's a very sensitive machine, very noisy, because it's so sensitive. You got to get used to that. The Bounty Hunter was quiet as can be. It would only scream at me when it was a good target, it seemed like. But the Fisher F70, the Patriot, was very, very different machine. So I appreciated getting to know that. I had that for about a month when, to my luck, I won. There's another YouTube channel out there called Saving History with SC Digger.
Oh yeah.
And Greg Tony over there had a 10,000 subscriber giveaway where he was giving away a Technetics T2 Classic metal detector. And I won it. I won that machine, just random comment picker, that kind of thing. And I couldn't believe it. I was in the middle of a grocery store. My buddy Tony calls me and said, "You just won that you just won the T2 from Greg Tony." I was like, "You got it." I screamed in the middle of the grocery store, and then went out and checked it myself, and sure enough. So currently I have the Bounty Hunter, I have the Patriot, and I have the T2. And I use the Patriot almost exclusively until last year. At the beginning of 2019, I told myself I was going to give that T2 some love and start using that T2. And I did, started using it. All last year, that's all I used. I didn't touch the Patriot again. I just used the T2 and ended up really falling in love with that machine. So now I got a decision to make. What am I going to do? But none of them are waterproof. So what did I do this year? What do you think? I went and bought the Simplex. I went and bought the Simplex. So I now own the Simplex. I've had it out a few times. Haven't had it in the water yet, but here in Colorado in the afternoons in the summertime, about 3 p.m., we get these torrential rainpours, these downpours. And I'm scattering for bags and everything else and undercover if I'm up in the mountains. And my buddy Tony or my friend Beth that I go out detecting with, they've got AT Pros and they're just out there laughing at me, because I'm ditching for cover and they're waterproof. So now I'll have that Simplex with me, and that's really why I wanted to get it. One, so I wouldn't have to go ditching for cover. Two, I want to explore some water here in Colorado, some of the rivers, some of the swimming holes, some of the stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to this summer getting that out a lot more.
That's a great story.
Okay.
Yeah, all of us seem to kind of move in and out of different detectors now and then with the new technology that comes out, with the Simplex being a waterproof detector. Obviously, the what was I going to say? The separation on machines, and we've talked about it both on the channel here and in our after party. Technology that we see to be the most significant change would be waterproof and this separation that we get. It's incredible what they're doing now with separation.
Yeah, I haven't touched any of the multi-frequency machines yet. I haven't touched Equinox or anything like that. I really would like to try that sometime, but I have yet to experience that. But I'm telling you, the T2 is incredible fast recovery speed. It's got incredible separation, especially when you put the small 5-inch coil on it. That thing is that thing is a beast. It's a laser, and I really have been enjoying that machine and getting to know it. And I hope to, do that with the Simplex 2 to kind of check that out. So far, so good with that. I'm kind of really enjoying that. Some of that I played with a little bit at Pound the Ground last year when I went to Pound the Ground. I kind of got a chance to play with it a little bit. And then, sorry, like everyone else, I had to wait for it to show up. And then I've been trying to play with it as much as possible, but my season kind of came to an end, and I've been doing a lot of traveling towards the end of this last year and haven't had a really chance to play with it very much, about 3 times or so. Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, Ken, I've always been wondering. We all enjoy your adventures in dirt, and I mean, it just keeps getting better and better and better. What got you started in that? Where did you get the idea from? Like,
With the YouTube channel?
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I started the YouTube channel basically because of the Hunter GT. I keep mentioning him, but if you're not familiar, he runs his YouTube channel, and he has forums that he used to run. I don't know if it's still going or not, but he I got to know other detectors on there, and that's how I got to meet my detecting buddy Tony, my digging partner. And John made the Hunter GT. John, he made videos. He made YouTube videos, quite good ones, I thought. And I thought, wow. And that opened me up to other videos, because once you watch his videos, then it starts giving you the suggestions, right? You start watching other videos, and I became really aware of this community on YouTube with metal detecting. I've always had an interest in audio video. Like after I graduated high school, I actually went back and took some adult classes for video communications, making mock videos and mock commercials and stuff like that. And I always thought I would make music videos. Like I always thought, I loved music. I just go to another place when I listen to music, and I thought, oh, if I could take where I'm going and put that on film, I could make music videos. I never pursued it though. I just never did it. But when I saw the Hunter GT putting out these videos, and I saw there was a community surrounding it, I wanted to get involved with the community. I knew that it was a community I wanted to belong to. I wanted to contribute to. Plus my family wanted to know what I was up to and stuff, like everyone, right? So I started making videos. I said, I could do this. I started making videos, and then quickly realized how tough it is, how much time it takes. And through that process, just started putting out digging videos and thinking about what kind of videos I wanted to do, and talking to Tony, my buddy Tony over at 5280 Adventures, and him and I would bounce things off of each other and just started going that route. Well, it wasn't long before I realized that the area I live in Colorado is unlike, New Hampshire, or unlike, Vermont or Pennsylvania or whatever. And I wasn't going to probably have the area to hunt in that was going to produce these amazing historic items that I really wanted to find. But, Colorado goes back to about 1850s at the very earliest. Before that, there was nothing here, Indians and fur traders. But, I was thinking, wow, how am I going to compete? I was kind of thinking that way. How was I going to compete? And it was actually this YouTube guy that puts out YouTube videos, and he teaches other people how to do YouTube. One of these YouTube gurus that I started listening to, Brian G. Johnson. And he told me, he said, you know what? Don't make videos for yourself. You really need to service a community. You really need to be of service to a community. And that made sense to me. So I started thinking, how could I be of service to the metal detecting community? Could I do that with just making dirt digging videos, dirt fishing videos like everyone else is doing, and just showing my finds and try to show them in a special way? Like does that service my community? And I thought, there's got to be something else. What else could I do? What else could I do that the community may be interested in? Something that would allow me to have sort of unending content, right? And that's where the idea for the weekly dirt show came. I started thinking about that. I started thinking about well, why am I out here killing myself just trying to find stuff to make content to show, something like everyone else is showing, that people may be of service to some people, may not of others. But what if I could showcase other channels and what they're finding out there and what kind of channels they are and what kind of videos they make. I really wanted to showcase that, how they do their editing, the flavor of that channel, you know what I mean? So I started thinking about this, you know, there used to be a show on called The Soup. I don't even know if it's still on. It's called The Soup. And they used to show
Oh,
internet clips from the week or whatever. And they get funny commentator would sit there and talk about these clips. And I was thinking, wow, that's kind of brilliant. He has unending content. Internet, the clips are always on the internet. It's always there. And he just needs to be funny. And that's kind of cool. And I knew I didn't want to be funny, but I thought, you know, maybe I'll start putting this together. But I needed permission. I needed permission from these channels to be able to feature their content, or so I thought at the time. That's the way I wanted to run it. So I reached out to all these large channels. Hey, you don't know me. Here's what I want to do. You'll be okay if I grab clips from your channel and did this thing called the Weekly Dirt, where I'm going to commentary on your clips. I'll cut them together. You'll have to trust me to cut your stuff together, but I'm going to put it out there. That's sort of a news thing. I'm going to talk about giveaways. I'm going to talk about events going on. And everyone gave me permission, everyone I asked. And so once I created that first episode, then I had something to actually show the next group of people that I asked permission from. Said, hey, check it out. And that's how the Weekly Dirt was born. I came up with the name, just thought it was kind of cool. You know, the Weekly Dirt is a weekly show, weekly kind of what's going on in our community. And since then, it's kind of just gone on. I've done 124 episodes now over a couple of years. And I think it's turned out great. People seem to really enjoy it, really appreciate it. And I enjoy putting it on. I still enjoy it. If anything, I just need to do more digging videos of my own and do other stuff on my own now, right? Because I've kind of fallen into that hole of I'm the Weekly Dirt guy, but that's okay. We'll get there.
So I have a question for you. Do you have another channel where you post things that you find, or do you kind of meld it in between the adventures and dirt stuff that you're doing?
Yeah, I meld it. I have playlists on my channel. If you go to my channel's separated by playlists. The very first playlist is a list of all my weekly dirts. So there's 124 of them on there. Then I used to do a live stream like this. I don't know if you guys are familiar. I used to do a live stream like this. I called it Digger Spotlight, where I'd interview one-on-one, similar to this, using Zoom, doing the same thing. And so the Digger Spotlight sort of is the second playlist. And then I have playlists separated by, you know, sort of categories. I got videos of finding gold, this and that. But there's a playlist on there called Digging with DK, Metal Detecting Digging with DK. And it actually has all my personal digging videos. And I release them as I get them put together. I got 2 in the hopper right now that I'm just not done editing, and I'm trying to get them finished up. But you guys know how hard it is, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, especially depending upon where you live to come up with content, you know, you can only do so many review on how to research this and what tip and trick do you have for your metal detector. I mean, I have an Equinox, so my Equinox it has been just hammered, so I really can't do anything with any of the Equinox stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think what you have, just as a side note here, what you have is such a great contribution to our community. It really does highlight the things that we're finding, and the channels that hopefully people in the chat will subscribe, will take a look at what you're doing, because I really believe it's fantastic. And I think it only benefits our community. Anytime we can, you know, promote other people doing what we love to talk about, it says something about you. And I think, you know, the humbleness of you, even though you have your 4,000 subscribers now. No, I'm just kidding with you. But no, I'm fascinated by what you're doing. I think it's so cool, the format that you're using.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that, Jordy.
Absolutely.
I enjoy putting it together. As long as I continue to enjoy it, I'll continue to do it. You know, I've only had a couple of channels that have told me no. Since then, I've learned a lot more about stuff like, you know, copyright content and what actually you can use things, what you can use things for, and what you can't. I will continue to ask people for permission. I can tell you there's been some situations where I've actually done it without their permission. Not that they haven't given me permission, so I haven't done it with, you know, against them or anything. I just kind of had a deadline. I wanted to really feature somebody. I reached out to them. They didn't reach out back to me. I just went ahead and featured them. there's if as long as you're adding commentary like I do, and then you make it almost like a news station, it's transformative in a way, and it complies with you know, the legal description of what you can use copyrighted material for. So technically I can get away with it, but I still continue to reach out to people and ask them if I can use their content. I like to have that. I like to have that in writing, just so we're on the up and up. I've had a couple of people that have written to me and said, things have changed on my end. Can you not feature me anymore? Because they're like maybe getting real big and they're going into some kind of commercial sponsorship or something like that. And that's cool. Absolutely, no problem. But I enjoy featuring people and introducing. The best comments I get on my videos are the ones that go, wow, man, you introduced me to 2 or 3 new channels I never heard of before. And now I'm checking them out. And 2 of them I've subbed to because I really like what they're doing. Yeah, everyone I'm not featuring the best finds of the week. That is not what my channel is really about. I feature things that I see, that I watch, because I watch videos all the time. My buddy Tony's always calling me, hey, did you see so-and-so? You know, go check out Jersey History Hunter channel, whatever, you know, and I go look them up. And if I see something catches my eye and I think it's interesting, I will feature that person. I'll feature that. I don't care what size they are. Just so because I like to expose, especially if they have some different way of filming or editing or something cool, you know, that they're doing that I think people want to take a look at. So those are the best comments I get. Hey man, you turned me on to this person. I went and checked it out. I always get the emails though too, privately, where they're like, hey man, I found this thing and it was better than anything you featured on your last episode. Yeah, I'm sure that absolutely happens. You know, I don't see it all. I don't know about all contests. I do my best, and we do with it what we can, and so far it's turned out well. Yeah.
Any other questions before I just keep shooting them off?
Hey, and I'm sorry, I talk a lot, man. You guys interrupt me, man. I'll get on a roll and I'll just go. You guys need to know that about me.
Love it.
Well,
What
you
kind of
mentioned,
What kind of machines do you guys use? Let me ask what kind of machines you guys use, because I don't know that about like Brandon or Dave or Nancy.
Nancy, what do you use?
AT Max and a Nux, soon to be a Simplex.
Brandon, what do you use?
I've used the AT Max, and then I just got the Equinox not about a year ago, or whenever it came out. I've kind of switched to that now. Pretty much what I stick with.
Dave?
I have the AT Max, and I'm definitely interested in the Simplex.
Dave, did you switch from the Pro to the Max?
No, actually, I had a White's M6 prior to that.
Rachel?
What's that?
Your metal detector you're using.
We use our AT Pros like 95% of the time, but we also have the Equinox 600 and the Simplex and a bunch of bounty hunters.
Yeah, and Ken, I started out with the Fisher F4, and at that time I said to myself, I don't want to spend a lot of money because I'm not sure if I'm going to like the hobby or stay into it. And it was like, you know, $400 machine at the time, and so that Simplex is, you know, bells are ringing it for everybody. But I went to a White's MXT, and then from there I went to the E-Track. And from the E-Track, I actually sold the E-Track and I went to the Nox. And I really enjoy the Equinox. We were talking last week about the Equinox and Minelab and all of that. I am still on Park 1, finding amazing stuff. Like I just read in the chat about, you know, switching machines all over the place and going from one to the other. You know, take time to learn your machine and understand what it's actually saying. And that's what I'm in the process of right now, just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, the best machine, right? Everyone says it, and it's true. The best machine is the one you learn to master. You know what I mean? It really doesn't matter much I mean, I guess there are some differences, of course, but boy, if you can learn to master whatever it is you're swinging and learn what it's telling you, you can find a lot of stuff. You can find more stuff than you can find enough stuff to make you enjoy it. I'll tell you that.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey, quick North Jersey detector asked, has DK ever featured himself on the Weekly Dirt? I get that question a lot, actually. And people have actually told me, you know, oh, I saw your last digging video, Ken. You should put that on your own, you know, Weekly Dirt show. And And I kind of made it a thing where I said to myself, I was never going to do that. I just was never going to do that. I have my own avenue for promoting my own videos, you know, in my playlists and putting it out on my Facebook group and stuff. And, you know, who would have thought I was 52 years old would have a Twitter and a Instagram, you know, all these social media things, you know, so I can put stuff out there of my own stuff. And I just said I would never, I may do, you know, different, I may promote myself for different things. Like I may promote the fact that I'm on the show.
Yep.
I may promote upcoming things going on my channel or events or giveaways that I got going on. I'm going to do a giveaway here pretty soon to celebrate the 4,000 subs. But I don't think I'll feature any of my digging videos. I'll just keep that reserved for other people. For sure.
So couple things going on in the chat. Just want to remind you, if you're going to post something, just post it once. We'll get to it. We'll talk to you. And I'd like to welcome Susan Lee. Susan Lee is brand new, just subbed. New to metal detecting. She actually has the Simplex. So Susan, there's plenty of people that can probably message you and can help you out with the Simplex that are in the chat. I know of 3 right now. So if you're interested in that and you want to learn a little bit more, definitely get a hold of Susan in the chat for sure. Any other questions before I go?
I have a question. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yes, you mentioned genealogy. I've been doing genealogy for almost 15 years. So I love the whole idea about exploring, learning the history, the research. What type of research are you doing now with metal detecting? Do you find that you're more into the metal detecting research and spending a lot of time with that?
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, so I like, you know, genealogy introduced me to the love of learning about history and my history. I mean, I was in a situation where, let me make sure my mic's on. Yeah, I was in a situation where, you know, my parents never really knew our heritage. You know, I'd ask them and they'd give me some, you know, BS answer. And I decided to find out for myself. So that's what really got me into genealogy. And I found out there was all these really distant third cousins that had already been out there doing a bunch of it. So, and I was able to tie in with them. So just learning about things really, you know, history of my family really turned me on. When I got into metal detecting, I really thought it was all about me and my detector out there in the middle of some field or on some beach, just enjoying the solitude. And I had no idea that within a month of me having my detector for the first time, I would become completely addicted to the learning about history of our nation and of our state and the state I live in the local area.
Mhm.
I mean, I think I know more right now about my local town I live in than anybody that's lived there their entire life because of how much research I have done jumping into that, you know, and I just fell into that. I was like, oh, I want to know where the circus was. I want to know where people were drinking. I want to know where people were, you know, congregating, right? I want to know where people were at. My head's always on a swivel. Every patch of dirt, right? We all are there, right? Every patch of dirt. What was there? I got to write that down. I got to remember to look that up and see what was there as early as I can find it. Looking at old newspapers and looking at, you know, old maps and going in and joining my local historical society and talking to them and talking to as many old timers in the area as I can find. And it's just, that has become the most enjoyable part of the metal detecting hobby for me. And it blew me away because I really thought it was all about solitaire, you know, being solitude and what I found, my treasures. What was I going to find? What was I going to find? Ooh, what's that next surprise? What's that next, you know, coming out of the dirt? And it's well beyond that for me now. It's more about the research and what's going on. And when I find something I don't know what it is, that's my favorite find. That is my favorite find, especially if it turns out to be something. That's my favorite find. You know, so you could find something and you're just like, I don't know what that is, but it's got writing on it. And I am going to find out where that was made, why it was made, what it was used for. And that's my favorite part. That's my
I
favorite
love
part.
the passion when you speak. I can feel it. I really can feel your passion. Now, what about when you're going to feature someone and they find something? Do you do any research on what they just found so you know a little bit about it, or?
I don't. Now, I will tell you that that's one of my favorite things to do as well, is when I see somebody, one of my favorite YouTube channels or something, I find something and they put it in their video. I don't know what this is.
oh my gosh, I will go and research that and try to find out for them immediately. Like I will stop everything I'm doing and go find out what that is for them immediately. Best person for this is quarter hoarder Jason. He always finds these things he doesn't know what it is. Like one time he found this little olive spoon, this little Italian olive spoon. He just didn't know what it was, but oh my gosh, within 30 minutes I had figured out where that was at, what it was, where it was made, and all this stuff. And by the time here's our community, right? By the time I communicated that with him, because we talk privately sometimes, he'd already been told. Somebody had already figured it out. Somebody beat me to it and told him about it. So I don't do it with the things that for the channels I feature, and for it takes me too long as it is just to kind of put all that stuff together. But if I'm watching things for pleasure and I see somebody find something and they don't seem to know what it is, yeah. And if I think there's enough there for me to go look and do like an image search and then start all that, I'll definitely do it. I definitely do. I found a button one time in a park. One of my one of the first times I dug with Tony at 5280 Adventures, I found this little button, had some initials on it. The inside part was really weird. It was like a gold wagon wheel, like real wide spaces. So not holes for the thread, but real wide spaces. Just think of it like a cross wagon wheel, but gold, kind of gold plated. And the button was kind of stone and it had letters on it. Oh my gosh. I went on the most amazing search for that button. I joined button societies on Facebook groups. I just went crazy, contacting every clothing company in New York that I thought might have something to do with it. And I found this company in New York that I talked to this lady. She'd been with the company 30 years. She was the longest employee that was there. And she couldn't confirm that it was one of their buttons or not, but she wanted to buy it from me. And I didn't sell it to her. I always wondered why she wanted to buy it from me. So maybe I hit something there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Don't know. Great question though.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Like I said, I love
Hey,
your
Nancy,
passion.
thanks for your support. You're always on video supporting people and on live stream supporting people. You've been real supportive of the community. It's things I notice because I try to be in touch with the community, right? So, hey, I just want to say thank you for
This
supporting
community
people.
is, and I absolutely love it. I've embraced it.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
Thanks.
So Ken, we saw you at Pound the Ground. Are you planning on any events this year? Attending any?
Yeah, that was awesome too, Rachel. I really enjoyed that. I really did enjoy that, meeting you and Audrey. Yeah, it was cool. I mean, everyone I met there, it was really cool. It was really interesting to kind of watch these people on YouTube and then go and finally meet them, and get a chance to chat with them. So yeah, last year I did Pound the Ground, and then I also did my very first Digging in Virginia 46 at Coles Hill. There's a video of that on my YouTube channel if you guys want to go check that out. And this year, actually in about 20 days, I'm heading to England. Making my first trip to the UK to do some detecting. I'm detecting with about 9 other YouTube channels. It's going to be a pretty interesting trip. Some great channels like Nugget Noggin and Preacher Digger and Plugmaster Ford, Missouri Mike, and Daddy Digger. And there's just a bunch of people going, Potter County Diggers and Relic Rangers. I'm really looking forward to it. Great people, and the area we're going to be in is just absolutely epic. Used to be a Roman settlement, so I'm really, really excited to go there and try to find something over there. But that's in late February. After that, I'm going to be tapped. Telling you, I'm going to be tapped from all the traveling I did last year. I just got off a cruise. I just got off a vacation cruise with my wife. She graduated, got her master's degree, and I'd promised her I'd take her on a cruise when she did that. And so just a few weeks ago, in January, early January, first week of January, we went on a cruise to Mexico. So I just got off of that. So I've been doing a lot of traveling. It's just, odd for me. I don't normally do that. So I don't think I'll make it to Pound the Ground this year unless something changes and financially for me. We're having a great event here in Colorado. Every year we usually do this event called Rush to the Rockies with my metal detecting, my treasure hunting club, Eureka Treasure Hunters Club. And last year we didn't do it. We didn't do it last year. Things kind of fell through and we didn't want to kind of do it halfway. So we decided to skip it last year. And this year we're putting it back on. It's called the Mother Lode. Yeah, Rush to the Rockies, the Mother Lode. And I encourage everyone there to go check it out. you can go check out Eureka Treasure Hunters Club and then look up the Rush to the Rockies. And it's going to be a cool event. You know, I think it's like a seated hunt, so it's not any kind of wild hunt. But they put on, it's all about the, you know, it's all about the camaraderie and getting to see each other and meet each other. And we'd love to see you out here in Colorado. So I'll definitely do that one. And I don't know if I'll get away to anything else unless something changes.
And when is that one?
That's in June. I don't know the exact date, June 24th, 25th, 26th, something like that. It's like a 3-day in June. So
No, that's cool. I
Yeah,
just
you-
have your metal detecting club. Is it named for like the area Eureka or?
I think it's just like striking gold. You know, Colorado's a big, you know, gold prospecting, gold mining state. And I think it's just about Eureka, we found it. You know, and we yell that often at the club.
Ghost town.
I was just
Yeah.
asking because my grandmother's middle name was Eureka.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Did they call her that? Did they
No,
call?
her name was Violet. Her middle name was Eureka.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. No, Eureka Treasure Hunter Club has been around for a long time. It's got over 100, I don't know, over 100 members, I'm sure. And a great group of people, I'm telling you, just a great group. And we have a good time with that group. Matter of fact, there's a video on my YouTube channel, a personal digging video that I recently released about a really unique opportunity I had recently. In my club, I belong to a special team called the HART team. H is Historical Artifact Recovery Team. And every now and then a historical property will call us up, get a hold of us, and have us come out and try to recover historical artifacts for whatever reason. And the HART team will go out and take care of that. And we got contacted by a local professor of archaeology who wanted us to come out to this very historical property. And I promised him I wouldn't release where exactly it was, but it was at an old Pony Express stop. I just can't tell you which one and what happened there. But yeah, it's a cool video. You guys should check it out. It kind of shows the cooperation between detectorists and archaeologists actually succeeding. Because sometimes that's strained, right? Sometimes that
rare.
relationship is strained. So you guys should check out that video. Yeah, it's I think it's called Detecting at a Secret Location or something like that.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
So, Ken, I have a question for you. So, we always talk about favorite finds. You know, you posted white whale the other day. Is there something that is just eating you up that you'd like to find that you haven't found yet?
Yeah. Yeah, there's been a lot I haven't found. You know, I haven't found a lot. It's only been detecting for about 4 years now. And, you know, I work from dark to dark and every day, and I can usually only get out on the weekends. You know, that's my sad story. And then I'm making these videos, you know what I mean? So I don't get a chance to get out too often, which means I don't find a ton of stuff. But the stuff I find is great. I love it. You know, there's things I would love to find. I'd love to find anything seeded someday. I think that'd be awesome. I'm a big fan of tokens. I'll tell you, I love tokens, man. I really do. Anytime I see somebody find a token, and a lot of times they're like, oh, it's a token. I was like, no, that's awesome, man. Are you kidding? That's a part of Americana. That was a part of time when, you know, things were so different then. And or these tax tokens, everyone hates the tax tokens, but I love the tax tokens. I think they're great. But anything seeded would be really cool. Of course, anything over in England, if I find some kind of hammered silver, it's just going to blow me away. Anything Roman, of course, you know, crazy stuff like that. I would love to find a 2-cent piece. And I'll tell you, here's something. I've never found an IHP. I have never found an Indian head penny. My buddy found one, 2 of them right next to me, but I'd never found an IHP yet. So someday I hope to find an IHP around here somewhere. I have the opportunity to do it. I just haven't found it yet. But this year, I'll tell you what, we discovered something pretty cool for Colorado. Never thought I'd find anything Civil War in my area. But before, there was a lot of, you know, travelers here, or when there started to be a lot of travelers here, a lot of travelers came through Colorado on the way to California for the gold rush, found out there was gold in Colorado, wanted to stick around. The government actually sent soldiers from 2nd Cavalry, 1st Cavalry out this way to kind of protect civilians and set up military camps and military forts in the 1850s. And there was battles, of course, everyone knows of the battles, and there was all kinds of things going on. Well, this year, a good friend of mine, Beth, with Unknown Detecting, and Tony with 5280 Adventures, she's part of my treasure hunting club. So is Tony. And we got together and went out to where Beth lives, and we were able to locate a place where she found some buttons. She found some eagle buttons. So we started looking in the area, and oh my gosh, did we discover an amazing cavalry camp that, for us being in Colorado, it's unheard of to find a camp. And we have just hammered that place, and we've pulled all kinds of great things out of there, man. Just great period bullets and period buttons from that time period. Now, these soldiers weren't in the Civil War. They were here. They were here protecting civilians, but they were here during the late 1850s all the way through the 1870s. And they were traveling up and down this area. We found an old trail map. We're right on this old trail map, real close to an old station stop and stuff. So it's just been amazing for us to find that. So I always thought finding something Civil War would be cool, but now we've done that. We've actually done that. And this year, my buddy Tony found some cross sabers and a Company B letter from a hat. So, I mean, it's just amazing to find that in Colorado.
Yeah, you're definitely in the same boat as just many people, and it's location, of course, right? I mean, that's really what it is. You know, Donnie from Detection Connection, he's like Ohio, because you know, we do find a lot of that stuff in Ohio, not every day, but we do. And I mean, we can't find gold here, you know, so I sometimes would rather go out and look for some gold. I think that's fun. Have you ever panned or gone out sluicing or anything like that?
Yeah, I started that before detecting. So when I moved here in 2000, I got into that with my kid, and nothing heavier than just recreational prospecting. You know, I mean, sluicing and panning, no high banking or no, you know, any kind of dry filling or dry dredging or anything like that. And I haven't thought that was something I might do this summer. I haven't hit any tailing piles yet. So I haven't hit tailing piles with a detector and look for nuggets that way. I joined a new group here recently for prospectors here in Colorado, and I thought that this year I might go try to do that this summer. Take my camera along, see what I can find. But I want to learn about it and find out what you have to do to try to get permission and all that stuff. And, we'll see. But I love it. I love gold prospecting. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work. A lot of people don't realize how much work that is. It's a ton of hard work physically, and you don't walk away with very much, you know, but once you get a little color in your pan, oh, you are hooked, brother. You are hooked. Gold fever is real, my friends.
Yeah. I was a member of the GPAA for a long time, thinking, you know, I have my trailer, I can go camp 14 days at any site and go panning and go whatever. I have a sluice box. That's still in my future for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, I encourage you to do it. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun because it takes research. It takes research trying to figure out where you think the gold is. You know, you got to pick a river that has produced gold in the past, and then you got to figure out like how the gold maybe flows in the river. Since it's the heaviest thing in the river, it's always going to sink to the lowest spot. So how does that move within the river? And so when you try and do all this stuff, you do all this research, you do all this guessing, right? You go out and you do some test panning and you find some gold. You just feel so accomplished, you know, you're like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Great. I bought bags of gold, you know, you pour them in, and I've done that before, just like almost, I don't know how many people have done it, but I like doing that. My daughter was doing it with me. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun. So if for some reason you want to be in the after party, the after party is going to start here in about 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, in 9 minutes. How about that, Nancy? I'll send you the link. I would like for everybody to wait until the live stream's over. And when the live stream is over, go ahead and get us into the after party so that you can join Ken and the rest of us, can ask questions and talk about whatever you want to talk about. You know, that conversation kind of goes all over the place. I see people who have been in the after stream before, Donnie and obviously Joel and Hot Dog and some other people in here. I don't know, but Sonia, hopefully you can all join us and kind of say hi to Ken all face to face.
Yeah, Jordy, what do you do, Jordy? Do you just post the Zoom link in the chat or something, and people can find it and come over and do that? Okay.
Yep. So we post the Zoom link in the chat, and then after the chat stays open for just a little bit, and then they go ahead and.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun. Just a real quick break here. Let me go ahead and well, you know what? I won't break it here. Oh, yes, I will. I'm going to break it here really quick. Let me just share with everybody what's coming up on our stream. Go to Metal Detecting Nation and click the stream calendar button. You can go ahead and see what we've done so far. Tomorrow, there'll be a link here where you can click and watch the replay. Next week, Joel and Doug, and I know that they're chomping at the bit to get on here from the YouTube channel, Digging Deep Beeps, and it'll be a great show. Gypsy from the YouTube channel, Zero Discrimination, will be on. Kurt will be on from the Hoover Boys. I'll email Kurt and tell him bring all the boys if you can. We're going to do a show and tell. And I do want to talk about this show and tell for just a second. And that is, please, anybody in the chat, we're going to have and share the Zoom link so everyone can be on live. And definitely, we would like for you to share and show us what you found in the last week or month that you think is significant. And it'll be kind of like an after party, hopefully, if we can keep the people. Nancy knows what I'm talking about. Keep the people who should be on. Steph from YouTube's channels, Steph Diggs, and the last one that we have scheduled, we're working on more, Matt from the YouTube channel, Gone Digging. So we have quite a lineup. Ken, obviously, thank you so much for being on. Really do appreciate it, and thank you for posting on your Adventures in Dirt that you were going to be on. Hopefully people who have frequented your channel are watching right now, so hopefully.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man. Appreciate it.
Any other questions?
Yeah, thanks, man.
Jordy, you're going to post that link right before we close, correct?
You know what? Yeah, I'll post the link right before.
Thank you.
Absolutely, I'll take care of that.
Well, I don't think anybody asked you, Ken, but what was your favorite thing you ever found?
Oh, you can't ask me that. You can't ask me. Favorite thing I found? That's a good one. I should have that ready to go, right? I knew I was going to be on this show. I knew you guys would ask me that. Probably my very first Civil War era bullet. Probably right now is one of my favorite things. When I found that out at the cavalry camp, and then was able to actually later find out belonged to a Star Carbine cavalry rifle. I just, that first one actually had pretty special meaning to me. A lot of other stuff I found has been pretty cool, but I think that right now, that's the one I really like the most.
There's also a question in the chat wanting to know, everybody wants to know, what does DK stand for?
Oh, great. Oh, great. You're going to kill me. Should I say it? I shouldn't say it. North Jersey Detector. Is that the one that asked that? Yeah. All right. So I was making a YouTube channel and, everyone uses nicknames. And I was like, all right, well, I don't have very many nicknames. I had some in high school, but so I was asking my kids. I got six kids, right? So I was asking my kids, I was like, what should I be calling myself? Well, my last name is King. My name is Ken King. Last name is King, right? So they're like, Dirt King. I'm like, that's stupid. That's silly. I'm not going to go around calling myself Dirt King. No, I'm sorry. I wasn't that blatant to my kids about it, but I was like, nah, I'm not going to do it. And they're like, you got to do it. And then my wife's like, Dirt Nerd. And I was like, I'm not, you may think so, and I'm not going to do it, And so then I just started thinking, and one of my older sons said, just call yourself DK. And I was like, all right, well, that's easy to remember. It's easy for me to remember. It's easy, just kind of an easy thing. So I'll just go DK. So, Daddy King. I like that. Everyone. So you make up your own thing. Whatever you think DK stands for, that's what it stands for. But yeah, it started off as Dirt King, and I thought that was a little presumptuous, So it's funny. My last name is King, right? So Ken King, right? And I used to teach martial arts, so I used to be a martial arts instructor. So and you usually call martial arts instructor sensei, right? So I started this school here in Colorado. I moved to Colorado, and some of my students were going home and telling their wife, "Oh, his name's King Sensei," and they were like, "What kind of egotistical maniac is this?" So I kind of have. I'm not going to call myself Dirt King. You won't hear me calling myself that.
All right, DK.
Thanks.
So I have one more question, and that would be, we've kind of all answered this one. Well, actually, there's two. If you could detect somewhere, where would you like to detect? Then the second one would be, are you a woods guy, a beach guy, a park guy, anything guy, all kind of stuff? What's your preferences?
Yeah. I like it all, boy. Just put me in any direction. I'll go do it. Where would I like to detect? I'll tell you what, you know, it's always England, right? I like to detect in England. We're going to experience that here in a few days. But here's my ultimate genealogy, right, Nancy? I would love to go to a property owned by my ancestors and detect that property and find something that belonged to one of my ancestors. Now, there's a place in Missouri that the smokestack is still standing. The chimney is still standing on this property that he was granted. He was 160 acres, and the house smokestack, his chimney is still there. And it's all farm field, but the farmers left this chimney stack there. And there's also an old graveyard, which I wouldn't detect, but there's also an old family graveyard nearby. So I'd love to go to that property sometime, write them a letter. Hey, I'm coming to town. Here's who I am. Here's the backup. Here's the documentation. Would you allow me to go run my detector over to that? If I could find something that had King on it, yeah, I would flip out. So ultimately, that would be my ultimate place I'd want to go detect, is someplace that I knew I had a tie to with my family heritage.
I hope you get to do that one day.
So do I. I've got a whole roadmap of this whole metal detecting trip I'd like to take. Are you kidding? Going around seeing all these other detectors and hitting all my old, Illinois and Kansas and Missouri and all these areas, and Virginia. I've got it planned out. I've written it down, but I haven't pulled that trigger yet. So.
Oh, don't forget us in New England, right? Rach?
Love to come see you.
Yeah.
Love to come see you.
That'd be awesome.
All right. Well, we're coming up on the 8 o'clock hour. Anything else for good of the order? Any other questions, interests, concerns? Ken, you have any questions for us or anything else going on?
Yeah. Hey, why'd you decide to start this live stream?
So I have a channel, obviously, Digging with Digger 51, and I've had that channel for I think 9 or 10 years. And in those 9 or 10 years, I pretty much, for the majority of it, hunted by myself, with my daughter sometimes, my chocolate lab who's then passed. And about halfway through, I started to contact some other people. Dave was one of those individuals, and I've been on and off here, digging with Dave here for quite a while, actually. I started to look at other people's channels and how they built like a community, how they used what their hobbies were as a community, what were the benefits of the community, how cool it would be. And to be quite honest, and I've shared this before, my cousin has a paramotor hobby. So he gets in and straps a propeller to his back and he goes paramotoring, and he has a paramotor name, and he and I were talking once, and I was like, God, this would be just such a great idea to go ahead and have a community of people from all different parts of the country who detect in different terrain, just kind of get together. And so contacted a few people, and this is what we have right now tonight. We have some others in Washington, obviously Audra, you saw Brandon, and we have everything. And then we had an idea of just having other people kind of on the show and highlight what they do and ask questions. And yeah, it just was a great way, I thought, of being able to communicate with a group of people. I know a lot of people have their own detecting clubs that they go to and socialize that way. I don't have a detecting club near me. And I just thought it would be a great way to kind of do it. I would do it, Ken, even if it wasn't a live stream, I would do this because you'll see how much fun the after party is. But people wanted to, I think, kind of see, the interviews, us interacting, and then they actually get to interact also with us on chat, and then they can kind of play it back as well. So I thought it would be a good idea to use YouTube and stream it there. That's kind of how I kind of came up with it.
Yeah, no, it's a great idea, and I wish you a ton of luck with it, Jordy. Absolutely. I think pulling the community together is really a value. So hats off to you, and appreciate you doing that.
I appreciate it. Yeah, one of the things we say is we're not selling anything or giving anything away. We're just, nothing. And we always say there's nothing wrong with that. We love people who do their live streams and their giveaways. It's awesome.
Oh, wait, you're not paying me for this?
No.
Wait.
So yeah, we
Give
are.
you a hand.
Thanks, Dave. I'll take it. I'll take it.
So basically, you know, we just want to talk, chit chat, share, and then there's the sharing function, as you know, with Zoom, where you can share your finds, pictures, videos, things like that. But yeah, that's kind of what we
Yeah.
decided to do.
It's great. I had one on my channel. I kind of haven't done it for a while. I'm thinking about bringing it back. That Digger Spotlight show. Thinking about bringing it back because of that. Because one, people are asking me for it. Like, come on, man, you need to do it again. But the interaction between the chat. I think a lot of people show up to live streams for that interaction, for that recognition. We're all in the same community. We're all out here digging into dirt. I mean, crazy, right?
Yeah.
And so may as well bond together and support each other the best we can. So anyway, anybody can do that. I definitely support it 100%.
I agree.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I hope you do bring back Digger Spotlight. That was fun.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I need to have some people from Jersey on that thing.
Yeah, I wonder who.
Who could that be?
All right. Well, without further ado, thanks, Ken, again. Thank everybody for joining us
Thank you.
on the panel tonight. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks to everyone in the chat. Thanks for showing up tonight and saying hello and coming along and supporting this live stream, and also for saying putting stuff in the chat and interacting with each other. It's always fun to go back later and watch it. And come on over to the after party. It should be fun.
Yeah. So join us in the after party. I posted the link. If you have a problem with your video or your audio, we're more than happy to help you. In fact, Nancy's real good at helping people with that. So I'll go ahead and count us off, and we're done. Thank you so much. Have a great Wednesday night.
Bye, everyone.
And
Thanks, everyone.
Bye all.
Thank you, Ken.
Peace.
Thanks again.
Thanks,
all
Daisy.
right, and we're off.
Yay.